It wasn't just peaceful protesters who were met with vicious violence following Donald Trump's Rose Garden address yesterday. This was the address where he threatened to use the military against Americans who are protesting police violence in the U.S. But there were also some journalists who were met with brutality, and it was caught on tape. The video that you're about to watch features journalists working, Australian journalists who were covering Trump's Rose Garden address, but also the protests that were taking place around the White House. And just take a look at the way they were treated as these cops and members of the National Guard were clearing the way so Donald Trump can do his Bible photo op.
You're outside the White House where Donald Trump is about to speak. It's getting a bit tense.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We've just had to run about a block as police moved in. We've been fired at with rubber bullets. My cameraman has been hit. We've also seen tear gas being used. Here we go. They're moving through again. This is exactly what it looks like. Exactly what it looks like. We're just staying safely. Media.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh.
Amelia, can you hear us?
Amelia, are you okay? Or your cameraman? Hello, Amelia. The police just charged at Amelia and our 7 News cameraman there, and looks like a policeman just punched our cameraman.
Which is interesting because they're not discriminating between protesters and the media here. Amelia, can you hear us yet?
Amelia, are you there?
Are you okay?
Yes, I am. You heard us yelling there that we were media, but they don't care. They are being indiscriminate at the moment. They chased us down that street, and as you see, they were firing these rubber bullets at everyone. There is tear gas, and now we are really surrounded by the police, and you really saw the way that they dealt with my cameraman, Tim. They're quite violent, and they do not care.
So the journalist you heard from there is a reporter out of Australia. Her name is Amelia Brace, and the cameraman who was with her, who was also unfortunately attacked, is Tim Myers. I want to just go to one more video, Cenk, and I want to get your thoughts.
Ambassador should be certainly making representation on behalf of these Australians who effectively have been assaulted. That's what it is, for doing their job. In a democratic society, the role of the media is critical, and it's important that the media are able to report on events, including crises such as we're seeing in the United States, free from harassment and the violence that has occurred towards members of the media, Australian media and domestic media as well, with tear gas being fired, with media being assaulted, is completely unacceptable.
It's just disgusting what we're seeing throughout the country right now, especially the attacks on journalists.
Yeah. I think that maybe the rest of the world still has an old image of America, which I hope they can retain for as long as possible until we get new leadership. But that's why they're shocked to see reporters being attacked like that. If you live here, you wouldn't be shocked at all. Unfortunately, a lot of reporters have been assaulted, hit with rubber bullets in these protests. But if you cover these protests, we all saw Oscar Jimenez, a CNN reporter, being arrested live on air, and he was, an African-American reporter. Our reporters got arrested covering St. Louis protests back in 2017, especially if you're independent media. And it's not just during the Trump era. Look, cops don't have much regard for the press. So it's not the America that you imagine. And there's a lot of hypocrisy here in the U.S. as we look at how China deals with Hong Kong and Iran deals with their protesters. And we rightfully call them out for those abuses. But here at home, our police do that on a regular basis. Now under Trump, of course, he's given them even more free rein to be even more brutal. And there, I want, we repeated it a couple times, but in case it wasn't clear, not only did they charge right there with their shields, but they hit the female reporter with a baton because there are no rules left. And so this is how tyranny acts.
Exactly. And keep in mind, okay, while Trump is warranting this type of behavior, right, these types of violations against journalists when it comes to their constitutionally protected rights, freedom of press, freedom of speech, I thought conservatives really cared about it. But while Trump is doing this to journalists, keep in mind, it's with the backdrop of him crying and whining like a little child over Twitter's decision to add a fact-checking link to his misinformation about mail-in voting. He thinks that that is a free speech violation. He thinks he's a victim of free speech violations, when in reality, he has absolutely no value for our Constitution or our First Amendment rights whatsoever.
Can you imagine if Twitter or anything did to Trump what Trump ordered the cops to do to reporters? If they came and charged at him with a shield and knocked him down, if they hit him with a rubber bullet, they hit him with a baton, do you have any idea how much Bunker Boy would cry? In case you missed it, the whole reason why that incident occurred is because on Friday, Donald Trump was hiding in an underground bunker in the White House because there were some protesters, and he got really, really scared. In fact, he put out tweets saying, "I'm not scared. I'm totally fine. We have ominous weapons and vicious dogs. I'm not at all scared." In other words, he was frightened out of his mind, hiding in a little bunker. That's why his new nickname is Bunker Boy. So he got really embarrassed about that. So he said, "Oh, yeah, I'll show you. I'll walk 1 block in Washington. But before that, make sure you kick the ass of all the reporters and the protesters. Clear them out, even if they're being peaceful. I don't care. Do whatever you need to do. Be vicious to them so I could walk 1 block in peace and pretend to be a tough guy holding the Bible upside down." That's why all this happened, because Bunker Boy got his feelings hurt.
By the way, I just want to read this tweet that I see Brett has ready, because it's the type of commentary that people had online in response to what Trump did, toward the journalists, toward the peaceful protesters, just so he can have his photo op. James Felton tweets, "Gassing people with their hands up so you can be photographed holding a Bible near a church is what Jesus would have wanted."
What would Jesus do? Beat the living crowd out of Australian reporters, gas peaceful protesters, drive the reverend of that church away with tear gas so you could hold the Bible upside down and threaten to dominate everyone else. I'm pretty sure that's not what Jesus would have done. And if you're an evangelical and you support Donald Trump, you ought to be embarrassed. You don't believe a word of anything you've ever said.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.